Lakewood police is looking for a missing 20-year-old tonight. This is Jaden Patterson. He was last seen near Wadsworth and Hampton. He has autism, and police think he might be going through a mental health crisis. Plus, he's not dressed for this weather. So anybody who sees him, please call 911.
Two avalanches triggered by skiers within minutes of each other shut down Loveland Pass this afternoon.
The warnings of dangerous avalanche conditions aren't keeping people out of the backcountry, and rescue teams fear this holiday weekend could be deadly. 9
News reporter Mark Salinger takes us up Loveland Pass.
Hidden by the beauty of very real danger sits in plain sight.
We had like a foot of beautiful powder all day, and it was just absolutely phenomenal runs all day.
At nearly 12,000 feet, tourists here for the pictures, mixed with backcountry thrill seekers.
You know, the people who ride this, they know that that's not a safe spot to ride right now.
Two avalanches were triggered near Loveland Pass within a matter of minutes this afternoon, as rescue crews responded to one.
As we were headed down, another slide occurred at the same time on Idiot's Cornice.
Idiot's Cornice.
Kind of a fitting name, unfortunately.
It's got quite the reputation up here.
So that cornice up on that ridge, we call that Idiot's Cornice because it's a really dangerous thing to ride this time of the season.
Jordan Champlow saw the helicopter and dozens of rescuers arrive.
You know, they're out here with helicopters and snowmobiles and they're making sure that we're all safe, and then you're going to go up there and cause an avalanche. It's not a good move.
Your only signs that a slope's about to slide might be that it rips out underneath you.
Jake Smith responded with Alpine Rescue Team. He fears the dangerous conditions mixed with a long weekend will keep him busy.
You know, the holiday weekend hasn't even started yet, and we're already starting to respond to calls.
Avalanches have killed 4 people in 3 weeks in Colorado. The snow conditions might seem stable until they're not.
We're in this awkward phase where the snowpack seems a little bit more stable, and so it's harder for people to get those obvious signs of instability like shooting cracks and lumping and things that they might expect to see.
When beauty collides with danger, it's probably best to stay away from Idiot's Cornice.
I understand why one would like to do it because it is such a beautiful line, but at the end of the day, it's just not a safe thing to do right now. It's just not.
At least 6 different search and rescue teams and police departments responded to the avalanches near Loveland Pass as a Flight for Life helicopter helped search for any victims. Luckily, everyone made it out alive today. No one was buried in the snow.
Everybody survived Idiot's Cornice.
Today they did, but who knows in the future? It sounds, if everybody knows about Idiot's Cornice, it's dangerous enough that you shouldn't go up Idiot's Cornice.
Yo, man, why is it called that? Oh, because only an idiot would go on it. Oh, okay, all right, very good. Live and learn, right?
Don't go up it.
Yeah, Mark, thank you. For the first time in more than a decade, Colorado's largest school district is going to shut down a charter school. Denver Public Schools Board voted tonight to close Strife Prep Kepner. The middle school is in Denver's Westwood neighborhood. The school got the state's worst rating last year for student performance. 99% of Colorado students scored better on reading and math tests than Kepner's kids did. All but one of DPS's board members voted tonight not to renew the school's charter. It'll close at the end of the school year. The district says the school does not plan to appeal the closure.
This is not a reflection on our students. This is not a reflection on our educators. This is a reflection of a system not meeting the needs of our district.
Another Strife Prep campus is voluntarily closing. Strife Prep Lake will surrender its charter in June, part of a consolidation by its parent company. The district says it'll work with families at both schools to place kids at other campuses next year. DPS says Kepner Beacon Middle School, which shares a campus with the one school that's closing, is already reaching out to families there. So the closure is different than the wider school closure plan we talked about last year. Superintendent at DPS recommended 10 schools for closure based on low enrollment. Then the board decided not to close any of them. Tonight, the district walked through its budget and how many students it expects to have in class. DPS predicts it'll lose 2,000 students over the next 2 years. That'll mean less funding for the district. Right now, DPS expects to be short about $9 million at the end of this school year. That's an improvement from earlier projections. And as of now, there is no new proposal to close schools.
The district attorney in El Paso County says it will not charge an officer who shot at someone driving away in their police cruiser, even though they determined that shooting unjustified. Officer Brandon Lowe shot and hurt a suspect last May after responding to a call about weapons in an apartment parking lot. Now, according to the DA's report, the suspect was threatening people with a knife. When Lowe arrived, the report says the suspect hit him with a metal walking cane, got in Lowe's police cruiser, and drove away. The report says Lowe called for backup and fired 3 rounds as the suspect drove away. The DA's office says it won't charge Lowe because of competing use of force laws. Lowe cannot claim self-defense because the suspect was driving away, but another section says officers can use deadly force if nonviolent means like pepper spray or tasing won't stop a suspect. The report says the officer couldn't use those methods once the suspect got in the police cruiser. 9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson says he's still surprised, though, that there aren't any charges at all.
The officer could have been charged with lesser charges, such as illegal discharge of a weapon, reckless endangerment. But the non-charging opinion goes to pains to point out that no one else was in the direct line of fire at the time the officer shot. And that is important.
The suspect in the case is accused of murder that happened before this incident. The report says Lowe didn't know about that at the time. Colorado Springs Police says Lowe resigned from the department last month.
An Aurora police officer already on leave for a shooting is now in jail, accused of beating up a woman who was walking her dog. An arrest affidavit says Officer Douglas Haroon was off duty and driving home last night when he got into an argument with a woman walking her dog off leash. The affidavit says Haroon punched the woman in the face, then kept punching her after she fell to the ground. Arapahoe County deputies arrested him. The woman went to the hospital. We don't have an update on how she's doing right now. Back on New Year's Eve, police say that Haroon shot someone while responding to a domestic violence call. That person survived. Haroon went on paid administrative leave. He is now suspended without pay. In a statement, Aurora Interim Police Chief Art Acevedo said that Haroon's actions are inconsistent with the department's core values. An investigation of Colorado's Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management has not found widespread employee concerns about abusive behavior by leadership. That report was released today. The state asked for the workplace review after Mike Willis, head of emergency management, was suspended for unprofessional and threatening behavior toward coworkers. Leadership said it was a pattern for Willis. At one point, state leaders told Willis that his repeated out-of-control behavior was a legal liability for the state of Colorado. The workplace survey found that a bit less than 1 in 5 employees in the department said that they had witnessed bullying or intimidating or threatening behavior, though the investigation said the majority of those who reported it were not satisfied with how it was handled.
A woman in Denver just helped her neighborhood get $400,000 to make the sidewalks wider and smoother. It's one of the first projects approved through the city's new program that lets neighbors vote on community improvements. Here's 9 News reporter Jennifer Meckles.
This way and then I'll come around.
Every trip outside her door is a negotiation.
Yeah.
A negotiation between Phyllis Mack and the dangers on her street.
This is the bad time of the day. As you can see, these sidewalks need to be repaired and they need to be widened and smooth, so I don't have to go out in the street and get hit by a car.
Phyllis isn't the only one struggling on the skinny and torn up sidewalks in her Athmar Park neighborhood.
Because this is a senior disabled building and a lot of people are on walkers or scooters. And it's hard for us to get out when it snows and it's hard to get off the ramps.
Last year, Denver launched its first participatory budget program, letting residents pitch and then vote on how to spend $2 million in city funds to improve their neighborhood. It started with more than 1,000 ideas, including one crafted by Phyllis.
Yes, well, we had like 3 or 4 meetings here, and we all filled out cards and we all decided we needed wider sidewalks and smoother sidewalks.
The city narrowed down the ideas to 23 options for voters.
Well, I think the people are finally realizing that we need to get the pedestrian dignity back to the people.
And voters picked 9 projects, including $400,000 to fix up the sidewalks in Phyllis's neighborhood.
I mean, I did it for myself, but I did it mostly for the community because it's dangerous going out in the street.
She liked this participatory budget process so much, she just might do it again.
I think I'm going to go for another project. I got one in mind.
Big dreams for safer roads, because she's tired of negotiating just to get home.
Yeah, home sweet home.
Phyllis said the project planning meetings for this will start in the spring, and she will be involved in those meetings and also is keeping the neighbors up to speed on what's going on. The 8 other projects that got voter approval include tiny homes and shower trailers for people experiencing homelessness, community gardens for affordable housing sites, and more pedestrian and accessibility improvements around the city.
Man, you love to see it. Good job, Phyllis.
Yeah.
Denver is notoriously slow on fixing sidewalks, so she got in there and got it done.
Yes, she did.
That was sweet. Thank you.
Lisa Marie Presley, only child of Elvis and a music star in her own right, passed away today. The singer was hospitalized just this morning. 2 days ago, Presley was on the red carpet at the Golden Globe celebrating Austin Butler's award for playing her father in the movie Elvis. Presley released rock albums in the 2000s, and she added her voice to some of her father's recordings, like In the Ghetto and Don't Cry, Daddy. Lisa Marie Presley lost her father at 9 years old. She was married 4 times, most famously to Michael Jackson. She had 4 children. Her eldest son, Benjamin, died by suicide in 2020. Last summer, Presley wrote an essay on grief, writing, quote, "I've had more than anyone's fair share of it, and somehow I've made it this far." Paramedics came to her home this morning after a report of a woman in cardiac arrest. Priscilla Presley posted later that her daughter was in the hospital and then a few hours later announced her daughter's death. Lisa Marie Presley was 54 years old.